All right, so this is the window pane that I'm thinking about using. I'm going to use for the skeleton. And this is a about 10-inch skelly head that I made the top hat for. And my thought was to put it on this type of a base. This is the same base that I did my vampire. Let me show you real quick in case you didn't see it. Okay, so this is the vampire that I did, and you see how it's on this window pane. So if you turn around and look at the back, you won't really see what I did here because I've got it covered, but we can walk through that process a little bit today. Halloween is absolutely my favorite. It's my favorite day. It's my favorite holiday. If I could have a Halloween themed wedding, I would. But I'm not married, so. But yes. So this one is, again, a little scary, spooky. This is my idea of Nosferatu as a lover who has just met his person, his wife, whatever. So this is the same base, and I want to do one for this skeleton. All right, so this is about, I think this is about 20 inches. Oh, by the way, you can get these at Craft Outlet. They're super cheap. They're solid. They're not real thin. So they're about that thin, but it's about 20 inches. I think I got it for $8, maybe, something around there. I think it was on sale, but your birthday is a week from Halloween, and that's why you're a Halloween girl. Okay, have a great meeting, Christine. So again, my idea was to have, you know, some sort of a skeleton design with a top hat. So kind of like him on here like this, with maybe a bow. I'm not really sure, but that's my idea. So the challenge is to figure out, how do you turn this into something that you can design on? Because obviously I want to put probably some greenery, maybe some florals. I don't even know yet what I want to do. This is the top hat I'm working with, and because it's pretty neutral, I can do anything I want to him. I literally, the sky's the limit. There's no restrictions. So I have to figure out what kind of piece do I put on here in order to attach him, and or do you just attach him directly on? But I know I'm going to need some sort of a foam. So I have foam, and I also have some gaps and cracks. Hey Justin, we're just talking about our little window pane here. Let me grab some gaps and cracks real quick. Okay, so one of the things that I do when I'm using my gaps and cracks to fill containers is that I'll have some left over, or I'll intentionally, let's see, hold on one second guys, it's wanting me to, all right, it was trying to shut my live off. One of the things that I like to do is put some gaps and cracks down on a parchment paper, and I like to make it a little bit thick because then I can cut this into blocks and use it for things like this, or I can, if I get a new piece and I don't have any gaps and cracks, I can put some of this on it. So we can take this and just attach it to this bottom, and then I'm thinking that we could then put Mr. Skeleton right above it, right? So something along these lines. I want to make sure I still have the window pane available to see, so this is sort of what I'm thinking. What are your thoughts? Anyone have any thoughts or ideas? And I'm going to actually zip tie this on, and it'll be fine because I can cover the back easily. I had some zip ties out. I think I put them away. Looks great. Thank you. All right, so I have some really long zip ties that we're going to use, and I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if I can move my camera down just a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Okay, is that better? Can you see a little bit better? Okay, so this is my middle point, and so I'm going to just take my block and put it here, and then we're just going to zip tie it around. And I'm probably going to do it two different ways. One across this way, and then one going up and down. Hi, Cassie. Maybe if I can, I might have to make this a little longer because my fingers are not strong enough to get that down. And I want to make sure it's really secure. So since I'm using two zip ties, I'm going to make sure that the sides of the zip where you snip it are off to the side. All right, so this is what we have so far. That's just one zip across, right? So now I'm going to go up and over to give it extra security. I appreciate everyone being here. It's so nice. I think, like I was saying earlier, I think everyone came in from Christine sharing the live, so I appreciate that. I'm still fairly new to TikTok and how to do all the things, so we need to have a class just on how to do some of that stuff. Like, how do you go and share it? Because I struggle. Okay. Okay, so here's what we have. See if you can see that. You see there's a little X right here. So we went one this way and then one up and down. And literally that's all I'm gonna do for this base. Like, this is a very simple base to work with. You can swap this out for one of those green foam blocks if you want. Not the soft ones, use the hard ones. You could even, if you wanted to take some sort of, like, let's say you wanted a coffin, or you wanted a music box, or I mean anything. You wanted any kind of base to sit him on. If you wanted a hat box, if you wanted anything like that, you could put that and zip tie it on here and create a ledge on this window pane for your design. You can turn this into anything that you want. So very easy to work with. I love it. I got several of them just because they are fun. And then as far as our skeleton, really what we're going to do with him, and he's in my shop, but he is going to go right above that block. I don't want to totally cover it up, right? Because I do want him to have his mouth open. And so when I do the live and we actually design with him, I'll show you how to, you know, hide with his mouth open, how you hide this base. So we'll walk through that as well. But this is what I'm thinking. I'm probably going to take a screwdriver or a drill and put 2 holes in the back of him, and then either take bind wire, either take bind wire or take some zip ties and wrap it around. And then once we do his design, we'll just go back and we'll cover this up with either a piece of felt, a piece of scrap material, a piece of, you could use burlap ribbon, you can use foam board, you can use really anything. So what I used on him, so this, because I moved the gaps and cracks block up higher, I took a larger piece of foam sheet and glued that over all my mechanics. Same with right here. This is where I secured the mask. This is where I secured the mask onto the head. And then that way you have it all covered up.